was wondering, maybe would it make us go crazy? Maybe would I make you my baby? My baby, my baby, my baby, my baby.
You already know when it's cold, sit down on the heel of your body and mind the way I do. 'Cause you told me.
Hey, currency kings and queens, I'm back with another chart analysis for this incoming week. What are we looking at? Let's get into it. Okay, so the first chart that I actually wanted to go over is, let me see if I can fix this. Let's go over EU real quick, or UJ, I'm sorry. I've been looking at EU as well, so I'll go over EU next. But as far as the analysis part of EU, y'all excuse me, I'm trying to still drink my coffee without slurping and things as such. So when we're looking at trends, we have no volume, so I could turn that off for now. None of that stuff. So if we're looking at trends, I can keep the VWAP on. And I'll tell you that I found out that for me, this is for my trading plan, I am still using the moving averages as much as I have been, but I've also been playing around with VWAP because VWAP seems to really give a bigger story or a bigger, better, more solid picture because it's going by the volume weighted average, so it's more in tune with giving me updates on the average. So I'm kind of like working with VWAP here lately. Remember, you're always looking to try and improve your plan because the market changes. You need to be able to change with the market. So I've been using VWAP. Up here, we see that, and then just speaking of moving averages, let's go ahead and throw it out there. So I'm inching towards the UJ being on a kind of like it's in between, like an uptrend and downtrend shifting to an uptrend, which could be, let's look at these two strong areas of support. There was a super strong area of support down here on the latter end, but more recent support has formed here. That's the more recent up-to-date support. It bounced off of this area here on the daily time frame, and then we'll draw our daily resistance area, which is here. So on the daily time frame, which is, if you're a swing trader or somebody who does the long-term trading, intraday trading, slightly swing intraday type, not scalping or doing the quick stuff like we do, the daily time frame is going to give you that bias that you need on that. So I'll drop down to the 4-hour time frame. We're going to readjust our support. And as you see, it didn't come down and make a new lower low. It bounced off of this area here and went up. It even broke above this area here. So there is a fair value gap up here and a big gap here. It's actually maybe what it's going towards, but if you can see over to the left, it closed above this area here, closed above that. So looking at this, and when it closed above here, it created another level of support. So when I'm looking at this, because this candle is possibly still open on the 4-hour, I'm looking for it to close above previous support on this end, break above the here, and probably we have enough to actually get into a trade. That's about 40, 50 pips. So if you want to get in after the break of the previous high, you can get in and get you some good, not pips. Yeah, it's pips. Because I've been going in between futures and forex, and we're going to talk about that because I love it. I love both of them. I love being versatile. I don't like just being stuck in one type of trading situation, because if you have a broader skill, then you can catch more moves. So that's what I aim for all the time. Catching more moves. So when you're staking out and you're patiently waiting for your trade setup to hit, it's good to have options, and you have to know each one of those options intimately. You need to know how they move. You need to know if you're trading pairs, how the pairs move. You need to know if you're trading commodities and futures. You need to know how those move so that when something crazy is going on or fundamentals are in play, you know how it moves. So so UJ, I'm looking for it to keep climbing up to this daily resistance that we have marked up here, and it's a good setup if you know how to work it. So let's drop down to the lower time frame to see if it's given anything. So on the 1 hour, there's some really good support here. And if you can see that support that I was telling you about, we can actually dumb it down over here when you go to the lower time frame to this area. Because it actually is it's 2 touches. And if you string this all the way along, it's a pretty strong area of support. Because look, all the way across. So, and it's on the 1 hour trending above the moving average and the VWAP. So I like this setup. I like the potential it has. Just, probably, me, use your risk management. But if you're trading UJ, that's a good catch. This is not financial advice. I'm not giving you trade setups. This is only what I am doing, but giving you a little intel on it as well. And it looks like we have some news incoming in the morning. So just be aware of that. Moving on over, let's make sure before we move over, also be mindful that at the bottom here, there's some fair value gaps that it's creating too. So just know the potential of this setup. Practicing risk management will save you a lot here. So, and if you see it made a higher high on the 30-minute time frame. So I'm in hopes of it continuing up short term, possibly long term. Let's just wait and see and take the market for what it is and what it gives us. Okay, we're moving on to EU. I'm fast, honey. We moving right along. So for EU, I have the EMA on. It's still trending above. It's making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. Are we going to make a higher high, or what is this? This is a daily time frame. So what we're going to do where we are now is create our resistance, draw up our resistance. It's already created for us. It currently hasn't went up to that area, but as we know, the candle that's up there probably isn't closed yet. And then we're going to draw our daily support level. Yay, you got it. So this support level, if you can see, is pretty strong there. So it is doing what it's supposed to be doing with market structure. It's creating higher highs, and before it creates a higher highs or shoot up, it's creating that foundational support before it continues up. So with the recent news with EU and the US dollar and all of that, I have hopes that it will continue up. If you drop down to the 4 hour time frame, we have W pattern. We have a lot of fair value gaps beneath that. If you can see this huge imbalance of fair value gap here was taken care of, but just be mindful of the ones below it. And you also have a demand zone. Imagine that, right in that fair value gap. So I have no doubts that it'll probably continue up to resistance, either this resistance here or daily resistance, and do whatever it's gonna do. Dropping down to the 1 hour time frame, there's a change of character here, and there's also a supply zone on the 30-minute time frame. So depending on what your bias is, it could go either way, y'all. There's nothing really solid that says what this is gonna do. But since it's already tapped into the demand zone, I want to see it continue in the direction that it's already going. So I'll continue with my biases until proven otherwise. So stick to your bias until the market proves you otherwise, either by your 3 confluences or something major happening that says, hey, the market is reversing or retracing, because you really don't know unless you know. We do have on the 15-minute time frame as well as the 30-minute a little area here that looks like it could be a strong level. So EU has strong potential. It is trending for buys currently, and I would stick with that until it reaches those areas of resistance, those point of interest, and see how it reacts at those levels for EU and UJ, both US dollar dependent. So I just really love these analyses that I'm doing. It helps me. Hopefully it helps some of y'all. On the 5-minute time frame, you can also see this level here that it's created of support to continue up. So we got a lot of bias and confirmation saying that, hey, it's probably going to continue up. Just be mindful of risk. That's all I ask you to do. I have a lot of good news. Let me see. Do I tell y'all now or later? I ain't gonna do that to you. Ain't gonna do that to you. Stay wondering. But getting into the forex, that's what we're doing for forex. UJ and EU this week. I have it flagged. Let me see if I can show y'all the flag. So on my little account, when I am when I have a setup on my TradingView account, I'll flag. You see the little tags here? You can tag them. The green means, hey, it's ready. It's ready once it hits those zones to jump into or take a trade. So I tagged those 2 because I was looking at some of the other setups, and those were the easy A+ setups from my strategy standpoint. So if you can do that, that'll help with getting you prepared. Hopefully y'all are looking at your charts daily and kind of practicing staying in the charts and studying. Even though I have been trading as long as I've been trading, which is going to be 5 years pretty soon, I always get in my charts. I dedicate a certain amount of time during the day to stay in the chart. Ask anybody around me here that lives with me. I stay in my charts. If I'm not doing anything, I revert to my charts. I'm in a more advanced stage of trading, but I still back test and stay up on my strategy, seeing what is new or what's next that could work best for me and what I do. My trading plan is not changing. Adding extra tools and confirmations and stuff like that, I always try to seek that out because you never know what you don't know. And I like the indicators that TradingView offers, and I try them out here and there. So hopefully you do the same thing. A lot of people don't talk about that, but I wanted to bring that to you. You don't always have to change your strategy. Sometimes you just need different ways to confirm your bias, and then if you can't confirm your bias, you just don't take the trade. And that is the mature part of a trader. So that's where I'm at. I traded gold and NAS futures last week. Let's look and see what we got. And I haven't looked at these 2 charts. So let's, those are from last week. And hopefully you're marking up your monthly, weekly, and daily levels. Daily levels, you always have to refresh each and every day because the market changes. But monthly and weekly, usually once a month or once a week, you only have to mark those up. And you can leave those in place on TradingView here. But always remember to change your daily high and low levels because they change daily. What else can I tell y'all? Hopefully you had a good week. It's Sunday and I'm ready for the market to open. I've noticed that my average trading time during the week is about, not time, but I trade an average of 3 to 4 days a week. And I usually take a Friday or a Wednesday off because my Wednesdays aren't just as solid as I like them to be. So I'll take my weakest trading day out and just focus on my strong days with my A+ setups. That'll give you the best opportunity, because remember, trading is a probability. So even though the market looks like it's going up, you might lose because the market don't play out the way that it typically would in a textbook fashion. So is that your fault? No. But what would be your fault is if you don't use proper risk management or stick to your strategy and try to just do what you want to do impulsively. And I have had those impulsive habits, and sometimes they still come back. I won't say that I don't. Are they manageable? Yes. Do you have to hit the grid? Yes. Do you have to try and reset your mind, your brain, especially if you're going into revenge trading? Yes. We all do it. I do it. You are going to do it. It's just part of the game. I mean, you have all of this market money sitting in front of you, and then you have to manage how. It's like somebody sitting $1 million from a Brinks money truck in front of you, and you trying not to just take it all. And knowing that you can hold it all and take it, you're going to try your best to. That's kind of like the market is what it is for us, and we have to learn to manage those emotions, manage the greed, because the greed is the failure point. The emotions is a failure point for most traders who don't make it. That's why there's only 1 to 5% of millionaires and billionaires in the world, is because people just don't want to take the time to have the discipline to use the tools, because it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard at times, but once you continue the repetition, it becomes a habit. They say that like after about 30 days of repeating the same thing over and over, you develop a habit. It becomes routine. It starts to build into your subconscious mindset. So take note of that. I'm going to get into NASDAQ futures. NAS has been trending for me real well because I just don't typically trade NAS. But NAS this past week, NAS moved, y'all. If y'all can get in a little piece of NAS, for some people it's too fast and it's too much. It's too complicated. But I started the game with GJ. Y'all know I love me some GJ. NAS, but I love gold. Gold has always hit for me. I don't know what it is with me and gold, but we have a relationship, honey. We have a relationship. I'm waiting for gold to ask me to marry it. So gold is what kind of sticks. And then you'll notice once you get into the market and start trading different things to see what fits best for you, because everybody, if this is a personal journey, your journey will not look like Joe Schmo who's sitting next to you with the same time frame of trading, the same teaching, the same, I mean, it's still going to be a different journey. So like others ask, hey, can you teach me to trade? Yeah, I can teach you to trade, but your journey is going to be very special and very different according to mine. Some people come into the game and within a year they got it all on lock. Some people come into the game and within a year, 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. But you have to learn how to manage emotions, risk, and really get a good foundational teaching for market structure and technical analysis in the charts. These books that I have that I'm probably going to see if I can go over again. I know I uploaded a video a while back about how to manage emotions, some of the better books. If y'all can go back on some of my videos, it should be in there, but just having the foundational parts of trading before you move on to just trying to make money. Paper trading before you just start throwing your money in would be really helpful to save you a lot of the grief until you're actually ready to start, making money. You're gonna lose regardless, but until you learn the foundational parts of risk management and being emotionally intact, I'd say just play it safe. And that's one of the ways to play it safe is with paper money, and just starting slow, low and slow. Because even for those that are seasoned, that have experience, they can get in the market and start watching all these other YouTubers or looking into the community groups on Discord and some of the other places and see somebody cranking out 10 grand every week and then payouts from prop firms, and then just go YOLO. After all the focus, after all the dedication, after all the low and slow and nurturing your account, then you see someone else's post and you're like, I'm doing this wrong. No, you're not. You're focused and you're going along with the plan that you have built for yourself. and you're executing that plan. Don't get distracted. Keep your blinders on for this specifically, according to your plan. Keep your blinders on and stay focused. Those other things are just meant to distract you. It's nothing wrong with looking and congratulating someone for their journey, but detach yourself from the money, the greed, the wanting to look like everybody. You're in trading because trading is a different field that not a lot of people want to get into, because it takes a lot of self-awareness. It takes a lot of dedication. So if you're on a path to doing great and you have a great track record, you know how to trade, and then you look at someone else's and you YOLO, and that screws up all the progress that you have made, stop, reset, get back on track, and focus and stay focused. So I've had to do that so many times. I know like a while back when I was watching video after video, I changed my strategy to fit what somebody else is doing. Then I changed from not even giving myself time to know if my strategy is working, but just changing because it looks like it would be easy, because look how easy they're making it look. No, stay focused. All of that, just like the stuff in the world, is meant to distract you. And if you can just stay focused, that's part of the plan in teaching you how to be a profitable trader, so that you can meet the goals and hit the, successes that you have set for yourself. It's not anybody else's journey. You're using the communities that you're in for support, to teach, to ask questions, to talk to other like-minded traders. Not to compare yourself, basically, but I know that's going to happen regardless, but just be mindful of how that can creep in and kind of ruin what you've built. Don't allow it to do that. Off my soapbox, I'm on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is still on an uptrend. I got into a few really good trades. It has some fair value gaps below in some demand zones. But if you can see, we're at the top of about 23,480 on the daily time frame, and we're breaking levels. The previous level, there was a close above that on the trend, so the trend is up. I am biased for buys on NAS futures. Like I said, we do have news coming in on tomorrow. Do y'all trade on Mondays? Because I know some people do not trade on Mondays. But anyway, we have an uptrend on NAS. What I've noticed lately is a lot of cleanup happens pre-market. So if you are a pre-market trader like I am sometimes, make sure you are aware that the market will do some really crazy moves, not typically a structured move, but it does have moves to meet those imbalances and close some of the gaps and stuff. So it may make some erratic or crazy moves, not according to your plan. So if you're a pre-market trader, just be mindful of that. But if you look on the 1 hour time frame, there is a level of support here for it to continue on the upside. And then here, we have a break above this VWAP, and it's still creating this level of support there. And then we have this level here on the 1 hour resistance. And we actually want to adjust our resistance when we drop down to our entry time frames. So if I'm going to enter, I will probably wait until it broke above this area. And I do buy stops. I'll put a buy stop there in a heartbeat. Go finish cleaning, doing my clothes. And when it triggers, then I'll set my stop losses and things in the system, because the system that I use doesn't allow you to put it in before it's triggered. So that's why sometimes when I'm in, I have to rush back and do that. So for NAS, I'm looking for buys in the coming weeks, unless it does some real crazy stuff and breaks those areas. Let's go to gold futures. Gold futures, I am looking at a support level. Gold is kind of meh, but look at the areas here. Okay, so it has 3 touches here, and then that touch on the outside was a strong bearish, well, it's bullish, but it's still red. So I believe that was kind of like a little fake out here. But we're trying to see if these 3 taps, if it's gonna hold or if it's gonna go below. I like the support area here just because it's encompassing all this. Look. So 3 touches down there. 1, 2, 3, and it went up to try and break this area here. It did not break that area. We had a huge bearish engulfing candle to push down. Now we're waiting to see. It's going to be at an important level here. If you drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that the previous candle was closing a little on the bullish side because we have a wick at the end here, and then it is still within a demand zone here that it's tapped into and tapped out of that zone. So I would say you could take a clean buy from this area up to see if it's gonna respond to the resistance in here or even as high as up here. But when that's the 4-hour time frame, being practical, that's that consolidation of that area of resistance that I just mentioned to you. So the lower you drop, the more information it's going to give you. So I would probably try to ride it up, but I'm not real sold on gold just because there's all these areas and it's not a huge gap between those areas before you're coming up to another one. So I like clean setups to where I have a good amount of run room like this. This will be a perfect area. I take this from there to here and get into a trade. So on gold, y'all, let's see. Gold is in the range. And I'm not real, I just say keep waiting on gold. Let it do what it's gonna do. Let it play out. But I'm definitely looking at NAS, EU, and UJ for next week. So that's really all I have. I hope I've helped you and put some good information out here for you to just even to get you thinking. Because my plan is not your plan. Just giving y'all my thought process. But I'm gonna let you go. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you can get these awesome analysis. And if you don't have the notification bell on and you are subscribed, what are you doing? Until next time, talk to you soon.